think over 30 sessions that we have done. So every session is recorded. It's always a reference for you to go back. Yeah. And before I start the class, I want to make sure there is a thinking I give you before we dive deeper into other topics. Uh, those classes that you have recorded and available, those are your reference for any time you want to go back. But what you should try to do is you should try to start to teach people. Teach your kids, teach your wives, teach whoever you think you can from the very beginning. The best form of learning is to teach. When you teach, you really learn. You really firm up your concepts. Okay, and it's a sadqa jariya for yourself. Use those classes, send them across, share them with your whatever friends and family. There is no problem with that. Ask them to listen to the lecture, go in a Q&A session, have a debate with them, play your role in spreading the knowledge. That is the beneficial knowledge, and inshallah you can contribute to that. Okay, so don't underestimate what you have done. You've mashallah progressed really well so far. Okay? So just to summarize, we started with the study of ism, and you have done so far, of course, the fundamentals of ism. Fundamentals of ism you have done quite well. Wait a minute. Fundamentals of ism. You have done fragments, which is bringing two isms together and then seeing how they work. We did 5 fragments. We did idafa, we did mawsuf sifa, we did harf of jar, harf of nasab, we did ism ishara, musharun ilay. 5 of these fragments. So it has taken you this time to do all of this, and mashallah, this is already opening up a lot of things for you all in the Quran. On the way you are asking questions, I can sense that your thinking is now developing in that direction. Your questions are getting more interesting and more challenging. So first of all, congratulations, and inshallah, keep on going. Do not give up. Do not give up. So things can become tough in days to come, but inshallah, we'll take it with our own pace and with our own speed and the way it is comfortable to us. Okay. The next topic that we want to start today is the sentence structure. But before I start the sentence structure, there is some auxiliary information I need to give you. There were few sets of informations that I intentionally did not give you because I thought it would be too much at that time. Okay, so I've kept it for this time. Now that you are quite well aware of these idafas, I'll give you some auxiliary information. It's not super challenging. It's a little bit of abnormalities here and there. It's a good information for you to have and keep in your back of mind. And inshallah, once we're done, we'll jump into the topic of sentences, which is going to be, inshallah, a very interesting journey in itself. Right? So today is all about some auxiliary information. Yeah. So in the very beginning, in the fundamentals of ism, we discussed that there are 2 types of ways you can find the status of an ism. One was ending sound, and the other was ending combination. Right? That's the 2 fundamental way. We took many isms and we practiced that. I don't need to go back there again and again. Okay. But there are few isms that come in that impact these things, like isms which are inflexible or which are non-flexible. They don't show their status, so they impact the ending sound, ending combination type of theories, and we have to find a way to find their status in a bit more different way. Just like that, there is another category. These isms that I'm going to tell you, there are 5 isms in total. They are called asma'ul khamsatu, and the 5 isms. Oops, not in Arabic. The 5 isms. These are 5 special isms, and I'm going to just tell you about these 5 isms and how to find their status, how they operate. And it's not too difficult. It's very easy, but you should know this because they are Some of them are used in the Quran. Maybe not all, but some of them are used in the Quran. The first of those isms is the word abun. Anyone know what abun means by any chance? Not expecting, but if you know, that's great. Abun.
Water?
Sorry?
Water?
No, not water. Abun means father. Father. Okay. So if you have to take abun, and if I have to tell you, tell me the status of abun, what would you tell me? What is the status of abun?
Rafa.
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 And if you have to make it nasab, you would do
Abin.
Aban.
aban,
Aban, sorry.
right? And for jar, you would do
Abin.
Abin.
abin. Sounds good, right? So it looks all good. Now we discussed an ism can also be light. And when the ism is light, there are reasons to make ism light. For example, when you make it a mudaf, right? You have to make an ism light. These isms, there are few like this. These isms operate differently when you make them a mudaf. You cannot make them like this. I can't say Abu. That's not how they work. Okay, they work a little bit differently. So now tell me one thing. So if this is the Dhamma, and then this is the Fatha, and this is the Kasra, right? These are three sounds that you know. Which letter in Arabic could closely relate to the sound U? Can you come up with a letter? Just a letter.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, right? What about the Fatha?
Alif.
Alif. And what about the Kasra?
Yeah.
Zaid.
Yeah. Everyone sees that? So the U goes well with U, the Wow. The Fatha goes well with Alif, and the Kasra goes well with Yeah. That's how these are the three vowel signs, vowel sounds of Arabic, right? And the Fatha, Kasra, and Dhamma are also many times in the Quran interchanged with these letters to reflect the right structure of the sentence. We'll do that later on in the Sarf study, inshallah. Okay? So what these people do, these isms do, instead of changing the haraka to single, they would use their corresponding letter when they are made light. So Abu would become Abu. Aban would become Aba. And Abin would become Abi. All they have done, instead of taking single haraka away, they attach the letter instead, the corresponding letter that reflects that sound. That's why they are different. So when you see Abu, Aba, Abi, do not confuse this Abi with the attached pronoun always. It could be when you are saying my father, but they can also, they are actually the lighter version. For example, if I tell you, for example,
आज ये वर्ड यूज इस तरह यूज हुआ है, मुझे याद है सूरह अबसा के अंदर ना व उम्मीही व अबी व साहिबतिही व बनी.
you took my example away, Tala. I was
Sorry.
actually going to go there.
Because
Good.
कल
I'm
ही मैं
glad that
सुना
you
रहा
know
था.
that already. Okay.
कल ये मेरा सबक था याद का.
All right. Abu Rohana. I'm assuming Rohan is a non-Arabic name. It's a name of my son. Right? So father of Rohan. Okay. Abu Rohan. So what I've done is I've made Abu light, but not by removing the haraka, rather by putting the letter. Easy? Yeah. While I was
is it idafa? Would it be idafa fragment? This
yes,
one?
yes. Because Rohan is partly non-Arab, so it's not going to take the kasra.
Kasra? Yeah.
Right? If you make it more Arab name, for example, Abu Muhammad.
Maybe Abu Muhammadi.
Abu Muhammadin. Okay. Father of Muhammad. Okay, so the only difference of these words from the others is when they become light and when they become mudaf, they take the letter instead of changing the kasra. That's the difference. Okay, so is that clear? Okay, so the first one
Yes.
is abun. The second one is akhun. Akhun means brother. Akhun means brother. Let's make a chart so we can see all of them at once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the first one we did, abun. The second one we are doing akhun. Now, remind me, what was the mudaf form of abun in all the three sounds? How would I make it light? Just checking on you guys.
Abu.
Abu, Aba,
Abi.
Abi. Light form, okay, means father. Okay. Let's go to akhun. Akhun
फहद
means,
वो जीम नहीं है, वो खे है.
oh, sorry. Akhun means the brother. Now give me the same for akhun.
अखु.
Akhu. Akha.
Akhu,
Akhi.
akhu. Now you know where the word akhi comes from, right?
Yes.
Akhu, akhi. Akha, akha, and akhi. Okay. The third one is hamun. Hamun is brother. Oops. Brother-in-law. Why is this too big?
Around 190 zoom.
Yeah, the word does not switch the font size very effectively. It switches the language, but does not switch the font size very effectively. All right, so this one is hamun. Hamun means brother-in-law. Okay, so maybe you can give me hamun as well. So it's hamu, hama, hami. Okay, all of these are light forms when you make them mudaf. So when you make them mudaf, this is how they would look like. I'll make a heading out of it. I'll share this chart with you. Oops, not here. So you don't have to take notes. Insert rows above. So this one is non-mudaf. I'll fix the font. And all three of them, these ones are mudaf forms. Mudaf. Okay? Abun, akhun, hamun. So whenever you see these words, you will find them made mudaf like this. So this is the way you make them light for being mudaf. Okay? There are two more. This one is common.
Fahad, just one question. This,
G.
when you say this is a mudaf form, so it can be mudaf or mudaf ilayh. Both can be.
No,
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 it
no,
can be
no, no, no.
only, it only come before mudaf ilayh. Okay.
Yeah. It's a mudaf form when they're used
Okay.
as mudafs. Okay. Because if you look at them, abun, aban, abin, in a non-mudaf way, if you have to use them for mudaf ilay, so you could just go and do abin, right? Because it's jar. But when you have to make them light, then the problem comes because they can't be mudaf without going through this process.
फादर का
Understand?
ये अलिफ के ऊपर भी चेंज हो जाएगा अखू का कि अखुन
Um,
उखा उखू उखा अखी
नहीं मेरे ख्याल से जबर ही आएगा, वो टैप हुआ है।
नहीं, वो this just a typo, यार.
ठीक.
I'm not a super great typist in Arabic. I'm still learning. Yeah, so it's same. Akhan.
ठीक.
Akhu, akha, akhi. Okay. So now this one is famun. Now you would imagine famun would be famu. Yeah, but Arabs do not like it. Okay, Arabs want to even further simplify it. I mean, it's in simple form, in simplest of form. What you would do, basically, just like following the previous pattern, you would have done famun, fama, and fami. Arabs say, I do not want this to be like this. I want the middle letter to completely go away. Fufafi. Fufafi looks like a magical thing. Fufafi. That's the famun, which means basically mouth. Mouth. Famun, when it is made mudaf, it loses its meme. Okay, and it just retains its last letter to reflect its status. Fu, fa, fi. And now the question might be coming, and I want you to hold that question. How would we differentiate fi from the jar majroor fi? Okay, so don't go there yet. Just take what I'm giving you. Okay. So far, so good. Any questions, confusions? You need to have this information because these are used in the Quran, especially these two, abun and akhun. They are used in the Quran. Okay. I believe these ones too, but I'll have to find. Okay. Now there is the last one. Now the last one is an ism that means possessor of. Possessor of. Now this ism is a special ism because it does not have a non-mudaf form. It does not have this form. This is not applicable to it. Okay. This ism only exists in mudaf form. Whenever you see this ism, it will always be a mudaf. And that ism is zu, za, zi. In the Quran, Allah uses Zul Arshil Majid. Zul Jalal, Zul Arshil Arshi Al Majidi. Zul Arshil Majid, the possessor of the throne. I'll give you another example. We were talking about the word karnan, right? Karnun. We said it's karnun, karnan, karnin, karnani, karnaini. Right? And if I say it means two generations, and if I say al karnaini, it's the two generations. And if I say zul karnaini, it means the possessor of the two generations. That's where the name comes from. Zul karnaini. You see that? Okay. So this ism, zu itself, zu, za, zi, is only used in a mudaf form. Okay. Now you can imagine if I had given you all of this information while I was teaching you idafa, it would have been a bit too much, okay, to digest and absorb. And that's why now you're comfortable with that. This is auxiliary information. It doesn't change any concept as such from the fragment perspective. It's just 5 special isms that you need to be aware of. Okay, and do not worry too much about it. Now that you know, whenever it shows up, inshallah, we will discuss this topic and things will become clearer at that time. So you don't need to be super concerned about this, but you need to know them. Okay, this particular ism, Zuzazi, is, of course, it maps to a Muslim chart as well. So the ism would have been, originally ism would have been Zun and Zan and Zin. That's how it would have been. Okay? So when they became light, it lost their harakas. It becomes Z. The first one becomes Za with Alif, and the Zun becomes Zu. Okay, you made them light. Now their normal form in pair would have been Zun, Zan, Zin, Zawu, Zawa, Zawi, Zawi, Zawa. That would have been a normal way. Okay, it's Zu, because it's Zu, it is Zawani, Ani ending in the end. So it loses the noon when you make it light. It becomes Zawa, and then the next one becomes Zawi, and the next one becomes Zawi. I'm just giving you so you know. Okay, when it will come in the Quran, inshallah, someday we will go back and do the revision. Okay.
ये repeat करेंगे फादर ये
Do one thing. Let's not do this right now. Maybe a bit too much for you. Okay. So let's stick to this. I'll give that to you later on. I'm realizing that if I give you now, then it might become a little bit more, okay, than what I have actually planned. So let's stick to the singulars. Forget this. Forget this for now. Okay? Just focus on these 5 isms: Abun, Akhun, Hamun, Famun, and Zu. Zuzazi. You need to know these isms, and you need to know when you see Abu, Aba, Abi, they actually are the mudaf forms. So I'll give you some examples from the Quran. Tala, you were mentioning Abasa, right? So let's take Abasa. Abasa is this one. So let's do all of it. Okay. Why white font? Okay. So guys, let's look at this. Tala was mentioning this. Yes, in the last ayahs of this surah, Abasa, Allah is explaining how the day of judgment will be. فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ السَّاخَةُ يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ. What is this akhi? The word akhi, he. Can you decode this? Let's try to decode this word.
Your brothers. Or his brother, sorry.
His brother, right? So it is akhi with the attached pronoun he. Okay. Wa ummihi wa abi. Let's look at abi.
His father.
His father.
His father.
And his mother.
His mother.
Ummihi is a normal ism, so yeah. So these two are used here. You see? So that's how in the Quran it is used quite a lot. If you do not know this, you might get confused that akh is something and it is having an attached pronoun ya. Right? And then there is an attached pronoun ha, which is going to confuse things a lot. these are some specialisms. So we just need to know that this is how they operate. I think there is another surah in which I have an example, if I'm not forgetting. This is Surah Takwir, I believe. Wait a second.
Right after Abasa.
Yeah. This tool, I mean, that I have in Word, it should be showing
Yeah.
numbers. It doesn't show numbers.
Fad right
So,
after Abasa is Taqweer.
yeah.
Shamsu Kuwirat.
Oh, just not just one ayah. I want all of it. Okay. Wait a second. What is Z?
Jar of possessor of.
Possession of.
Correct. Possessor of the Arsh. Okay. Z. Quwwatin. Possessor of the Quwwa, the power. Okay. So these are specialisms. They're used in the Quran at various places, and you will encounter them. Now you know this is an ism. It has properties. It is a singular. It is whatever masculine. It is jar, and it is common. In this case, this Z is singular. It is masculine. It is jar, and it is proper. Right. So it has 4 properties, but you need to know these isms which operate a little bit differently. These isms are called the 5 ism, al-asma'u al-khamsatu, or just call them 5 isms. Okay.
फादर क्या आता कॉमन होंगे ना ये सब बेसिक प्रॉपर्टी उसमें
जी,
तो
default तो सब common है, but
Default
in
सब
this
common
case,
होंगे
in
ये
this
प्रॉपर हो
case,
जाएगा जी जी
this is common, and in this case it's proper.
It's proper.
Okay.
Fahad bhai is just for
And-
general knowledge. इससे related नहीं है, लेकिन ये जो इस्लामी महीने हैं ज़िलहज जैसे. So ज़िलहज मतलब possessor of Hajj.
Zilhaj, ji. Ji. If this is that ism used in it, yes, that's what it means. Zilhaj, possessor of the Hajj, the month that possesses, that contains Hajj in it.
Reason for it, Zil Arshi is proper because the Mudaf ilayh is with al, so it's
Correct.
proper. So that makes
It's
it proper
because
as well.
mudaf ilayh is proper. Perfect.
Correct. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So that was the auxiliary information I wanted to give you. I also want to give you another example. If you give me a minute, I have it in front of me. Brought it.
फादर माउथ भी masculine ही होगा
G. Mouth is not a body in pair, right?
नहीं जी ठीक
So if it was pair, then it would be feminine. Okay. Anyway, okay, is that clear? One last bit. You have done this already. You have done a lot about wow, which we call connector wow. And I just want to give you a reminder on this, that this wow is called ataf. It's called ataf. The Arabic name of this connector wow is ataf. Okay, ataf means the connector wow, basically. And just a reminder that it will delegate the status of ism from one ism to another. So if I'm saying Abu Muhammad, Abu Muhammadin, wa, for example, Ahmada. Now Ahmad is a partly flexible ism. It doesn't take kasra. But what is the status of Ahmad?
Jar.
Jar. And why is that jar? Because there is a waw, which is ataf, and this waw carries the status from previous ism, not because Abu is mudaf. Okay, that's what I want to clarify. Abu is mudaf and Muhammadin is mudaf ilay. The status of Ahmad is jar because it comes after the ataf of Muhammad. What is inna? Guys, what is inna?
Harf of nasab.
Harf of
Harf of
nasab.
nasab.
Innal muslimina. Status of muslimina is?
Nasab.
Plural nasab or jar.
Nasab.
No, I want
Sorry,
assurance
it will
here.
be nasab. Sorry, it will be nasab
Yes,
because of
it is nasab.
it is nasab. No,
Correct.
Okay.
Innal muslimina wal muslimati. What's the status of muslimati?
Nasab
Nasab.
Nasab. Why?
because
Because
of
it transfer from.
Because of the ataf.
ataf.
Because of the ataf. Muslimati is ma'tuf ala muslimina, and it's related, dependent on the muslimina. That it is muslimina, it is inheriting their its status on. Wa al muslimina al mu'minina, again nasab. Wal
Nasab.
mu'minati, again nasab.
Nasab.
Wal qanitina wal qaninatan qanitati was sadiqina was sadiqati was sabirina was sabirati wa khashiina wa khashiyat. You see that this entire propagation of the status in this entire ayah is only because of the ataf. It's ataf all over the place.
कौन सी सूरत है फादर?
This is Surah Ahzab, ayah number 35. Okay. So it's all over the place, all the way down to Hafizina. All the way down to this point. Okay. This one inna, and then all of these are nasab, and the status is propagated by the ataf, the connector waw, across. And this entire thing, this entire bucket, the bucket that I'm marking in green, this is going to be one big giant harf of nasab fragment. Okay. If you do not know this, why is hafizina nasab? You would always say it's either nasab or jar. But now you know, you should be assured what is the status, because you know there is inna and you know there is ataf, and ataf propagates the status of one word to the other word, and therefore starting from muslimina all the way to hafizina, it's ataf, 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 ataf. Status is propagated. Okay. Clear, guys? Any confusion there? These are two auxiliary sets of information I wanted to give you. And
फाद भाई ऐसी एग्जांपल मेरे ख्याल से ऑब्वियसली हर्फ ऑफ जर के साथ नहीं हो सकती क्योंकि हर्फ ऑफ जर लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस रिलेशनशिप नहीं देता, लेकिन क्या वाह जो है वो हर्फ ऑफ जर को भी कनेक्ट करेगा?
Good question, Shams bhai. This is absolutely possible with harf of jar. Okay. So if I change this to, for example, fi. For example, fi. Just for the sake of learning. It doesn't make sense, of course. But if it was a harf of jar of any type, okay, this would have been jar. The ataf would be same. The status propagation would be jar because it's muslimatin in nasab and jar form. Right? Then again status propagation, all the way down to, it's not the long distance relationship. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell. Muslimati is not going to be jar because of fi. It's going to be jar because it is connected to ataf that takes status from previous word to the next word. Okay. The original impact was created by this harf, and then it was propagated in a chain reaction to all the words coming forward. So absolutely possible with the harf of.
थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड सवाल, लेकिन फिर अगर ये केस है तो फिर जो हमने अभी सूरह नास की आपने एग्जांपल दी थी होमवर्क में, वहां पे हमने वा यूज नहीं किया है, वहां पे हम मौसूफ सिफा को यूज करते हुए हमने कंटिन्यू या अल्लाह मियां ने कंटिन्यू किया है, ठीक है। तो कोई वहां पे हिकमत है इस चीज की कि वहां वा यूज नहीं किया गया, वरना वहां भी तो वा यूज किया जा सकता था।
बिल्कुल, again, the message is very different there. The message is very, very different. So I'll explain that to you. Surah Nas jo hai na, in Surah Nas, you say that I seek protection with the master of people, with the Rabb of people, okay? Malikin Nas. And if you say wa at this point, if you say wa, then you're saying and Malik and the owner of the people. Okay.
Impression could be given that
yes, you're talking about something else, someone else,
yeah,
right?
about something else.
Here, Maliki is actually a sifa of the word Rabb. In this ayah, you introduced your Rabb. In the next, all of these ayahs, in two ayahs, you have actually defined the characteristics of that Rabb. He's a Malik and he's Ilah. He's a God as well. Okay? It's a characteristic. So it's a Mawsuf Sifa relationship. Maliki here is Jar because it's a Sifa of Rabb. Ilahi here is Jar because it's a Sifa of Rabb. Okay? Not because it has a connector in the middle.
So, thank you, Father.
Okay. So just on this same topic, I think it's important that it becomes very, very clear to you. So if Rabb is master, Rabb is master, Malik is owner, and Ilah is God. Okay. Nas is people. Okay. Let's try to translate this part. Just this part.
Fahad, a very basic question. Just this Nas is plural actually because it's common Nasun, right? It's a, or you will treat this as singular.
It's one of those three words, Tala, meaning
yes,
by plural by meaning.
Yeah, that's right. That's
it's
right.
a collective noun. Yeah. Yes,
okay.
It will always be marked plural masculine.
That's right. That's it.
So Qul A'udhu, I'll translate for you. So Qul means say. Okay. A'udhu. Now there is in English, you would put now after Qul, you will actually say after you would put a speech and something that is being said. So in quotes. A'udhu is I seek refuge. Okay. That's what Qul A'udhu is. Okay. Now let's try to translate Bi Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. Bi Rabbin Nas. Bi Rabbi with master for now. Okay. Rabbin Nasi of the people. Because it's the people, I'm going to come back and say the master. If you're not with me, stop me. Okay. Say I seek refuge with the master of the people. Second. Left. With the master of the people, owner of the people. And then I come back, I realize it's the Nas. So the owner of the people, the God of the people. Quotes. Now, if you look at it from this perspective, there is no and in the middle. Now, if you had to do the same, say I seek refuge, master of the people and the owner of the people and the God of the people. If you were to put a wow in the middle, it would give you a possible interpretation that you're talking about three different beings, right? It is used as a sifa because it's a sifa. So the master of the people, now you're defining the characteristic, who's also the owner of the people, the God of the people. You could further refine it and say like this: I seek refuge in more plainer English, just to get the message right, with the master of the people in a very plain English. I mean, I'm not considering the grammar right now. Okay? Just to give the right message. I seek refuge with the master of the people. With the owning God, master of the people, or rather say, who is, which is not in Arabic here, which is not in Arabic, the owner, the God of the people. There's another way of translating it, right? This who is does not exist in Arabic, but does it give the right message? If it does, go ahead. I mean, because your objective is to understand the structure of the Arabic, understand the relationship of the word, and come up with the right translation. Right translation. This is literal translation, according to what you see there. This is more of a translation developed from the perspective that people can really understand what is being trying to say, what Allah is trying to say here. And this is exactly the reason why you end up in multiple translations, okay, of different types, because ultimately they tend to become interpretations of the Quran, okay, of somebody translating, and they are putting all the effort with all their honesty and love of Quran, but it ends up in different types of interpretation. And that is why the translation is not the Quran. This is Quran. And the best way to learn Quran is in the language of the Quran. Okay? So it was an important question, Shamsbai. So I think this deeper dive is necessary for us to understand. Okay. Anything for now, or is it done?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just a very quick question, Dr. Saab. जो आपने एग्जाम का जो कहा था एक्सरसाइज का, जिस पे हमारे शम्स भाई बहुत एक्साइटेड हो गए थे लास्ट टाइम पे, वो टाइमलाइन क्या थी? आपने कुछ संडे कहा था ना ऑफ?
Sir, I gave you two options, either 27th, which is the last Sunday of this month, or the first Sunday of September. So you guys can choose whenever you are ready. That's fine with me. Okay.
3rd of September, inshallah.
Unless
obviously, unless शम्स भाई जो है ना
पोल क्रिएट कर दें बेहतर, क्योंकि मेरे लिए वो 3rd वाला पॉसिबल नहीं है शायद.
अच्छा चलो,
तो पोल क्रिएट कर ले. मेरा ख्याल फिर उसमें जो भी जिसके भी ज्यादा वोट्स होंगे उस हिसाब से, ताकि हर किसी के लिए वो हो, फिजिबल हो.
I agree.
तो मेरा ख्याल बेहतर ऑप्शन है शायद.
Yeah, everyone is here. I mean, tell me. I mean, if 27th works for you guys.
छुट्टी पे पढ़ तो सकते हैं.
नहीं, हेलो 27 कौन सी छुट्टी? खुदा का खौफ कर भाई, छुट्टी आपकी है, सारी दुनिया की नहीं है. आपकी छुट्टियां हो गई हर तरफ से, तो मतलब ये हम सब
छुट्टियों पे जा रहे हैं तो छुट्टियों पे पढ़ तो सकता है. तो जज्बाती हो गया.
So आपको जो छुट्टियां मिली हुई है ना, वो सबको नहीं मिली हुई.
अच्छा, भाई मेरे लिए दोनों ठीक है, दोनों में से कोई भी हो जाए.
Okay. I can also offer you 10th of September, but then of course the scope will increase. I mean, I have no problem. When you will tell me this is the date for the test, I will give you the test on that date. No problem. Okay?
तो पोल में 10th भी डाल दें.
आपका वोट तो मुझे मिल गया विकास भाई. I'll put that I'll put that in the poll. ठीक है? So whenever you guys think, wherever the majority sits, we'll do that. ठीक है?
इंशाल्लाह।
भाई और बाकी नेक्स्ट वीक कर लेते हैं।
हेलो,
आप
नेक्स्ट
मेरे साथ 1 to 1 आ जाएं,
आप मेरे साथ 1 to 1 आ जाएं। बस यही सुनना था, अब इत्मीनान से जा सकता हूँ मैं।
जज़ाकल्लाह डॉक्टर साहब।
चलें, thank you very much. जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। इंशाल्लाह I'll see you next Sunday.
जज़ाकल्लाह।
Assalamu alaikum.